Hi guys, so today I'm bringing you a comparison at Woodleigh MRT area. So just nice I had a client that wanted a comparison at this area between Park Colonial and Woodleigh Residences. So today I'll dive deep and then we will find out what are the differences between the two developments. And also some interesting fact is that we want to see which development actually made more money over the past few years because they both recently TOP not too long ago. Alright, so you can see here Woodleigh Residences is at RCR D13 Bidadari Estate TOP 2023, which means last year. So it's relatively new and it's an integrated development. So it's right above Woodleigh Mall and Woodleigh MRT. So you can see over here, mixture of the residential people staying there, or also called buyers. Almost 85% is Singaporean, and then we have a small portion of PR and foreigners. So today, if you are a foreigner, okay, just like my client is Singaporean, so no issue. But if today you are a foreigner, right, you already paid ABSD for this development, it will not be wise for you to enter as a new PR or a new foreigner. You must understand the current buyers already here. Their majority is Singaporeans, so they are so-called next time when they sell, the Singaporeans sell, right, they are not factoring in this ABSD that you paid as a foreigner or so as a result they can actually sell 5 to 10% cheaper than what the PR bought. If you are a PR or a foreigner, it might be better to look at developments with a higher ratio of PR and foreigners, so that you see recently all these cooling measures that affect foreigners the ABSD becomes 60%. So-called safer for you guys to exit next time if you are looking to exit, if you are a PR or foreigner. Because imagine if all the Singaporeans keep selling at, let's say, 1 million, then you as a PR, to break even or even achieve the same profit, you have to sell at least 1.2 million, 1.3 million to cover the ABSD that you paid last time. So that's why it'd be better if you have a development that majority of the holders are PR and foreigners. Okay, so that one a bit digress. Back to the topic. So you can see over here, almost half of the purchasers, previous address is private property, and then the new addresses and the new purchases, 40% comes from HDB owners. So you can see over here, the development is right above Woodleigh Mall, and they have an entrance to the Woodleigh MRT. Yeah, so the mall, you go and take a look if you haven't seen it. I think it's quite a nice mall. I mean, the management all is all very well thought out. The tenant mix is also very good, and the mall is still opening in phases. Yeah, okay. So here we have the site plan itself. So it's very nice. Basically, block 21 and 23, you have the premium facing of the Bidadari Park, and then the other blocks, it can be either facing towards the roadside, towards the poolside, all that. Yeah, but talking about more of the premium facing, if you are looking at the park itself. Over here, we have 336 units of 2 bedrooms. 2 bedroom plus dual key, you got 5 units. 3 bedrooms, you got 271 units. 4 bedrooms, you got 55 units. So what I like about this kind of development, right, is that they don't really have those one bedder. One bedder, it will create the living environment like a lot of tenants. Because usually, if you are one bedder near MRT, very likely the buyer or the owner will be looking for rental. Yeah. Very unlikely they do it for own stay. There will be cases like this, but it will be quite a small group. So this so-called ratio, I would say it's quite good if you're looking to own stay, because it means that the people there, most likely you will know them. And you can see by the percentage of the Singaporeans that bought this development, majority is Singaporean. So you create a nice environment. You don't have people that come and go very often. So you can see the rental yield. Basically, for the 2 bedders, you got quite a wide range, but you also must see the size, because the size is also quite a big gap also. Okay, so between 3.8k to 5.2k, the 3 bedrooms 5.4k to 8k, 4 bedrooms we had transacted at 10,000. I would say most likely the 4 bedders very rare you have rental, because most of them will be buying for own stay. Okay, so now we'll look at the past transactions for the 6 months. 3 bedders at Woodleigh Residences. Woodleigh Residences, we already have passed the 2.5k PSF. The units are transacted between 2.3k range to 2.5k range. So you can see the 3 bedders here. The smaller ones is even at 850 square feet, and the bigger ones is at 958 square feet. Of course, there is other sizes also, but just the past 6 months, these are the transactions. And the quantum itself, right, is between 2 million to 2.4 million range. Okay, so right now, these are the current listings in the market for Woodleigh Residences 3 bedders. So for buyer, actually you have quite a few options. And based on my app, we can last see that some of the units last advertised on 1st July. So means they are stuck in the market for a while. Yeah, because you see the asking price, the PSF is like in the 2.7k range, 2.6k range. And we did see most of the transactions is in the 2.5k to 2.3k range. You see the 3 bedders on the market now, you have from the smallest 850 square feet to the biggest 1119 square feet unit. All this data already I have it on hand. So if you need any help with regards to looking for options at Woodleigh Residences, you also can let me know. Okay, so you see over here, right, we have 4 transactions. So just now already show, right. So now we'll look at how much they actually made and how long is the holding period. One of the owners made 232,000, and then the other one made 630k. So the range is quite big. So I think it really depends. You can see the one that made lesser, right, the 232,000, they actually bought in the year 2021. So they kind of bought a bit later already as compared to the people that entered earlier. You see, the ones that entered earlier almost, it was good 6 months, almost 7, 8 months ahead of the previous buyer. Yeah, so that's why they are able to cash in more profits out. Because over time, usually developers they will start to raise up the price. So it's also quite interesting that right now, right, there is only 4 units that transacted. But there is a price gap between, you can rewind back and you see the current listings on sale. Why the units, some of them are stuck for a while? Because the gap is still quite big. Like you see, right now what the market can accept, right, is about 2.3k to 2.5k range. But the listings they are advertising is at the 2.7k range. So that's why there's still a discrepancy. And yeah, for the 3 bedders over here lah. So right beside Woodleigh Residences, the nearest one is Park Colonial, and we are looking at 165 meters away. And you can see both of them, right, they are starting from 2017. So this is when the developer bought the land officially. But you see the TOP, right, there's a slight gap. So Park Colonial TOP in 2021, where else Woodleigh TOP 2 years later at 2023. This is very likely because it's an integrated development. So the shopping mall has to come up first before the condo itself, because the condo is on top of the shopping mall. Yeah, so that's why there is a slight gap in the TOP lah. Yeah, and then Park Colonial, we're looking at 805 units. But Park Colonial, the unit mix, you see, is a lot bigger mix. And the range is from 600 square feet to 1,500 square. Alright, so now let's dive deeper into Park Colonial. So basically, TOP 2021, same district, 99 years from 2017. Okay, total number of units 805. And you can see over here, similar ratio. So means this district majority is Singaporeans, 83%. So just now Woodleigh Residences, I think it was 84%. So it's really quite similar in the profile of people staying here in terms of Singaporeans, PR and foreigners. Okay, so same advice. If you're a foreigner or PR today, it might not be advisable for you to enter properties like this if you're looking to sell in the future. If you're not looking to sell, if this property is really suit all your needs for own stay, then I think go ahead, no problem. So over here, we have 57% of the owners privately owned address. Okay, then the purchasers, 42% come from the HDB side. So just to give you a rough overview, you see, basically we are also still very near Woodleigh MRT. We are just next to Woodleigh Mall. So you basically share the same amenities as Woodleigh Residences. Okay, yeah, then you can see here is the site plan for Park Colonial. So I think quite standard facilities. We have swimming pool, tennis court, and so this one I will go deeper dive later on. But for now, it's just to get a good overview of what's going on over here. Okay, so you have 1 bedroom from 463 square feet up to 5 bedroom. The biggest size is 2185 square feet. Okay, and then the rental yield for the 1 bedder, it ranges between $2,000 plus. We need to scrap the 9.5k. That one should be some data error thing. I don't believe it can fetch 9,000 plus. Yeah, but the rental range is between 2,000 up to the 5 bedders, which is 13.5. So you can see over here, we do a similar comparison. Past 6 months for the 3 bedrooms at Park Colonial. Okay, so you can see over here, the units transacted, majority of them are at the 980 square feet. Okay, and it's between 2.2k PSF range to 2.3k PSF range. And they are, you see the quantum is in the 2.2 million range. So this is what most buyers can accept at this element right now. Okay, then you see over here, right, these are the current listings for sale. So we have, alright, so you can see here, we have a total of 14 listings for 3 bedrooms for sale at Park Colonial. So you can see the listing prices, the asking, actually is a lot lower than Woodleigh Residences. You can see their range, the lowest actually from 2.2k PSF up to 2.4k PSF. And the price range is slightly lower than Woodleigh Residences side. This one is just remember, right? Later it will be used for later on. So you can see over here, right? The 3 transactions at Park Colonial. Then we look at how much profits they made. So you can see on average they made about 700,000. Okay, the owner that made 353k, right? They bought at a much later date at 2021. So those owners that entered earlier at 2018, they bought at an almost 3 years ago price. But you look at the holding period, right? So this one really based on different investors. For the owner that bought in 2021, you see the moment 3 years is up, right, the SSD over, they let go already. So as a result, their annualized return is still quite decent at 5.5%. But their overall returns not that high. But its profit is still profit, correct? It is not profits until you realize it. Then you look at the 2018 buyers, right? They only sold after a holding period of 6 years. So means they stayed there for a while, then they decided to let go. There's no right, no wrong. Maybe they enjoy the new condo feeling, all that. As a result, you see, their returns annualized, it could have been a lot higher if they did the same thing as this owner that buy 3 years and let go. But they decided maybe they want to stay a bit longer, stay 1-2 years first before they let go. So the annualized return is slightly lower, now at 6%, but it's still quite good. Yeah, so for today, if you are looking to enter the market, right, it really depends on what is your objective. Are you looking to flip, for profit, or maybe you at first when you buy the property, you didn't think about flipping one. You just want to stay all that, but at the end of the purchase, suddenly you make quite a bit, then you might be considering, why not I think about shift to a higher yield generating asset. That being said, not every family when they buy property, right, they're chasing the annualized returns. Yeah, some of them they're okay even if the holding period is very long and then they don't earn as much. They're okay one. Maybe the annualized is maybe 2-3%. They're fine with that. And there's nothing wrong because not everyone buys property for the sake of flipping. It's really there's an own stay element in it. So it really depends on individual buyers. So right now I'm gonna do a charting. Then we compare the 3 bedrooms, right? The differences between Park Colonial and Woodleigh Residences in terms of entry price. Okay. So we look at the 3 bedroom sizes. What we want to do is also we want to look at Woodleigh Residences. So we compare quarter on quarter. This is quite interesting. Okay, you can see basically for Park Colonial, which is the line in blue, the first month because of the this one you must understand it was right before the cooling measures also. Okay, so they had the transaction of 117 units on the launch day lah. It was at around 1,656 per square feet. So we compare, right? For the 3 bedrooms here, the units typically experienced about 41% in capital appreciation. Then for Woodleigh Residences, the units typically had appreciation about 21% lah. Unless you really want to compare from the part here at the bottom to here, it experienced about a 30% gain. Okay, so this is I'm just speaking from experience. So basically, when the Park Colonial first launched, right, that period still don't have a lot of new launches. There was a lot of en bloc of they call it the en bloc cycle lah. So the en bloc cycle just started and the units haven't been launched into the market yet. So when Woodleigh Residences launched, right, around this period, their launch they are quite straight. You see, only 8 units sold. Yeah, and the units for Woodleigh Residences move quite slowly until I remember around 2020. 2020 period, right? So that was when quite a few units at Park Colonial was already mostly sold out already. Only like maybe the bigger units left at Park Colonial. So this was when Woodleigh Residences started to move. It's also because other developments started to price higher already. So you see 2020 that time, right? I also got clients that tell me 1,009 PSF for this Woodleigh area, even though it's integrated development, like expensive So you see, even if you entered later, right? Even if we say 2022 period, you're still looking at almost a 12% gain. That being said, it really depends what is your objective when you buy the property. So I can tell you for sure, those people that they entered slightly later, right, they are most likely buying the bigger units or they are not looking to flip one. They really want to own stay but they cannot wait so long. Even if I cherry pick the lowest point for Woodleigh Residences, right, up to today, Woodleigh Residences, they only experience appreciation of 30%. Okay, then Park Colonial, right, they had appreciation of 41% for the 3 bedroom units. So this is even before I dive into the layout sizes. It's just purely prices because you see for the pricing itself, right, the gap Park Colonial was at 1,006 PSF, but then you see Woodleigh Residences when it first launched, it was at $2,000 per square feet, a $400 per square feet price gap, right? And it's the same MRT. Chances are, right, you are buying into the so-called premium price already. And if you have a development that is almost $400 per square feet cheaper, why wouldn't you enter the safer choice? So this is how I would advise my client. Okay. Then if we take, so you see, right, because our developer at that time when they launched, the response was very poor. Yeah. Then they decided to have a lot of discounts. So this was when the PSF started to come in already. It was at around 1,008 PSF. But even at 1,008 PSF, yes, it's still a good entry price. But definitely you will make a lot lesser, 10% lesser. It's not say a lot lesser, 10% lesser than Park Colonial. Okay. But at that time, right, really you must see at which point you're entering. If you are entering Park Colonial at 2018 period, right, 1,006 PSF, I think definitely is a good choice. But if today, let's say today you're at maybe this period, Q4 2019, the units at Park Colonial is selling at 1,008 PSF, but the units at Woodleigh Residences is selling at 1,009 PSF. Only $50 per square feet difference. Why would you buy Park Colonial when you pay $50 per square feet higher just to get an integrated development and it's closer to MRT? So when it's different times of the development, you must see when you ideally want to enter it lah. Then you see the moment when Park Colonial TOP, right? Then Woodleigh Residences also start to move already, and they are moving at a much higher price, 2,000 plus, 2,001 PSF average. There will be people that always say, buy on day one is the best price. It might not be. Yeah, it is always about the relative pricing. Yeah. So in this case, the owners that bought Woodleigh Residences early definitely they'll still be in profits now. Okay, they're still looking at almost 20% gain if you bought it on day one. If you buy Park Colonial earlier, you will make more money. But if in between you buy Park Colonial versus Woodleigh Residences, right? Okay, so now we zoom into this point. Okay, you see, right? Yeah, it's true. Your price for a better and more premium development, right, is only 50 PSF price difference. You actually make more over the cheaper development. Okay, you see, the owners that bought in 2019 Q4, I wouldn't say those that bought Park Colonial was a bad choice at that period. It's still okay. You still made 25%. But today, if you are comparing, you see, of course you are entering a lower price. Then you make slightly more. 3% gain, 3% difference over 25% is, I would say, quite significant considering your entry period is quite similar. Yeah, but in the end, it's still profits. Yeah, they still make money. Yeah, so this would mean price gap between the different developments, which is nearby. Different time of the launch would, if you enter at a different timing of the launch, right, you really have to study the nearby plots of land to determine whether it's a safe entry price or not. Yeah, so you see, maybe at Q4 2018, maybe a lot of people will say, wow, Woodleigh Residences so expensive, $2,000 per square feet, how to buy? But then, when the market 1 year later, they look at the launches, all that, wow, Park Colonial already transacted so many units at 1,008 PSF, 1,007 PSF. Does it create a price support for the area already? And then we look at Woodleigh Residences, which at that time, the developers were struggling to sell units because of the slightly cheaper competition, which is Park Colonial. That's why they cannot increase their price so much. Now, you might ask me, right, in today's market, is there something similar to what we are experiencing right now at Park Colonial versus Woodleigh Residences? Yeah, so this is something that I would do in depth for my clients and to see the difference. Yeah, but for them, they because the in-laws is staying nearby here, so they wanted somewhere around this area. Yeah, so that's why I'm doing a deeper dive for Park Colonial and Woodleigh Residences. For the layout sharing, of course, that one really depends on different needs and if you can accept the road facing or you want a premium stack. So that one really will differentiate. Of course, that one will also determine how much premium you're paying. But for today, we are more of sharing on the entry price and the time of entry. Yeah, okay, so if you want to find out more on maybe a different area or different development, want to do a comparison, one-to-one meetup, feel free to let me know or call me at 8484-9302. Yeah, my name is Simrit and that's all for today. Bye.